Happy Friday, everyone. How's it going? Hope everyone has had good holidays. It's me, your friend Chris. In today's live stream, I'm going to be talking about the magic of the multicolor swatch feature in Adobe Fresco. I feel like this is a little bit of a hidden gem that not a lot of people know about. And I think it's a little bit more powerful than you may think, even if you do know about it. You can do all different kinds of things with it, from making cool stamp situations to like 3D looking brushes, and it's pretty cool. So I hope you will join me in this little live drawing session where I show you all the different things you can do with the multicolor swatches, like making custom multicolor swatch brushes and just a lot of fun stuff. We'll see where it takes us. Let me just check in with the chat as always. Good morning, Nisha Day, Tress Crawford, Diana Lisa. Happy New Year to you as well. Almost Happy New Year. Let me just get a sip of water. I always forget to do that before I start recording, which is stupid. I just want to take a quick moment to shout out all of my amazing channel members, especially the super supporters and above, whose names I illustrate and include in all of the videos that I make while they are active members. This is the current lineup of super supporters and above, with the extra special my new VIP tier at the tippity top, which gets monthly one-on-one video chats. So there's that. That's pretty cool. And next week I will be scheduling a members only video hangout where we'll do some like live drawing and we'll be able to interact and actually talk as opposed to just me responding to comments. So that should be fun. It'll either be with Zoom or Google Hangouts, but if you are a member, keep a lookout on the community tab. I'll also probably post it in the channel's Discord. Did you know we have a Discord? There's a link below. It's got over 200 members now. Pretty neat. Good morning, Moissa. Good morning, Trent. Good morning, Jan. Good morning, Tiffany. Gavin. Hi. Happy belated birthday. Sir Shreddington, good morning to you. Glad to have you. Bree M. Ria, thank you for joining in. So let me switch over to the iPad. Let's just get into it without any further ado. Oh, I should do that little thing where because you're here for the live stream, I'm going to give you this secret promo code for my shop, link below. I think it gets you 20%, 25%. I don't know. It's one of those things. But if you use the promo code live, you can get that in my shop. Okay. Let's go. iPad. So I got a file here with some random little doodles of mine, and then this like gradient situation that I just grabbed off the internet. I just Googled gradient because I thought that would be a cool way to show you what you can do with this kind of thing. So the multicolor swatch thing is a little bit hidden, and there's two ways that you can activate it. So if you go over to your eyedropper tool, which is almost at the bottom of your toolbar, right above the insert photo icon, and I already have it set to multicolor, but when you are when you first use it, it defaults to a single color swatch, and you can just drag this around and it'll select whatever color it is above. So you'll see in this gradient, we can select any one of these colors. I'm so used to using the drop and hold eyedropper that I forget. But if you see over to the right of your toolbar, this little sub-menu pops up. If you click on the bottom one, that's the multicolor swatch. And now, if we don't accidentally hit the eraser, you'll see we can drag this over. And if you look at our little swatch at the bottom of our toolbar, you'll see that it's not just one color. It's selecting a gradation of colors. And you can zoom out so you can get more of that. So let's make a selection that has quite a bit of this and just make sure that the circle is full. And now we can mess around with this. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off these other layers for now, so we don't need them. Jan Lee, how's it going? From the Philippines, nice to have you. Silver Sharp, how's it going? Ria, nice to see you. Music Junkie, glad it's your first time here. Well, not glad it's your first time, but glad that you could make it. So when you have this swatch and you use your brush, this right here, what do I have it set on? This is like a let me go back to the basics. Let me go to a brush that I haven't messed around with. So I'm going to show you this with the most simplistic brush. I need to go back to my to the original settings. I should have reset this before going live. It's a rookie move, but let's stem count, jitter count. We don't want any of this. I want you to see what this looks like without anything done to it. Okay. So if you were using the most simple brush, which is just a hard round brush, and you start using this swatch, this is what it looks like. It's just sort of repeating that stamp over and over again. And even just this has a really cool like 3D effect. And you can see that there's like these lines that are sort of like, you know, breaking up the swatch itself. And we can control that within our brush settings. So if you go into this little menu here and we adjust the spacing, so you could spread it out and make like little dots if you wanted to do something like that. You could pull it tight together. You could come in here and do like shape dynamics where we could do like a size jitter where it'll change the size as you're going a little bit. So you can get this like kind of lumpy look. You can also come in here to the scattering and like spread it out so it like makes this cool sort of textured pattern. And this is all just from that one little gradation of color, and you can create some wild stuff very quickly just by adjusting these settings a little bit, which is pretty nuts. Frankie Robertson, good morning. Al Lemieux, how's it going? Trent, Lisa Frankworm, that is very funny. You can adjust the angle. Like you can see in the brush settings preview how much we're able to really affect what this looks like. Like we've got this opacity jitter where you're getting this kind of wild effect. And you know, we can make this really small too. Like it doesn't have to be that big. You can get these like wild different looks. So let's reset this transfer stuff down. There's like the flow will, and like this stuff will change the opacity and like the darkness and like how much comes through. But let's go back. Let's bring the scatter away. Let's bring the count back. We could adjust the, let's see, the control pen pressure. And now you'll see we can get this like really smooth, almost like 3D looking line. which is really cool. And because of that gradation, when we come back around, you can see that the almost the color changes, and it's pretty amazing and pretty crazy 3D looking. So let's see, if we go to shape dynamics, we could, let's see, do the angle. Let's see what that does. I got so used to working in the vector settings, doing my vector presets, that I forgot about the all the settings for the pixel brushes, which is quite a bit. So if you bring the hardness down, you can get like a soft blurred look. If that's what you wanted. Let's come back. Let's bring the hardness up to 100 so it's solid. And then let's go to control. Let's do pen pressure, and here we go. So now let's delete that. Let's make a new one. Now we can even taper this and create this really cool thing. I can turn my I don't know. It's super wild, and it looks good. It's like nice high quality crisp stuff, and that was just from a random gradient. And you could do this with anything. It's super fun. Ryaneska, if I'm saying that correctly, thank you so much for just becoming a member. Mo, it is very trippy. It's wild. So let's let me show you how you can use it as a stamp situation, which is kind of cool. So I got this little hot dog guy, and you know what? Let's start with our taco friend. Let's start with him. So we can do the same thing we did before and do multicolor swatch, but I'm going to show you the way that I usually use the multicolor swatch as opposed to going into the eyedropper. When I'm in my brush settings, all I do is double tap my modifier, which is that little circle, and make sure blue is in the center. And now when I use this eyedropper, you'll see it's being a multicolor swatch. And I'm not getting the whole taco there, so all you do is zoom out until you can fit whatever you're trying to get into the circle. We go like that. We got the full taco, and we are ready to make a taco drawing. So if we leave it as is, it's not going to work that well because of this, because we have it set up from something that's like a full image. So what we can do here is adjust these settings to make more sense for this kind of thing. So what I would do here is maybe space this out. I would come into shape dynamics, and I would let's turn off this stuff, and let's come back here. We can adjust the spacing so this is maybe spread out more. And you'll notice here that there's a little bit of the white around the taco, and I don't want that. I want them to be layered on top of each other. So all we have to do to fix that is turn off our background and then redo our swatch. And let's actually come in here and fill in these eyes so that we get a better layering of the tacos so we can have lots of them. Okay, so again, I'm going to come back to the brush. I'm going to double tap the modifier and just hold down over this and then scale it until I can fit the full taco in there. The good Chad, thank you so much for becoming a member. Okay, so we've got our full taco, and it does not have a background anymore, which is great. So to show that a little bit more clear, let's well, we'll be able to see when they layer. Okay. All right, so let's come in here to our settings, and you'll see that when I adjust that spacing, the tacos can layer each other and there's no extra white space, which is cool. And we can adjust the angle. Let's say we want them to be like that. Then we can go into shape dynamics. We could adjust the size jitter, so that would make, them slightly different sizes. You can adjust like the minimum diameter for how big they'll be. You could adjust the angle jitter so they're not all perfect, which is kind of cool. We can go into scattering, and you can scatter these around. You could do both axes, so it scatters it up in both ways. I keep accidentally hitting the eraser with my arm. Sorry about that. Let's see what else here. And then you can control how many there are. So you could have just a large amount of taco friends. And we can come back over here and we can just take over the world with taco friends. We can make it smaller, and then we could have like tiny taco friends coming in. That's too small. Let's see. And let's say that's too many. You don't want that many taco friends. You just want to have a normal amount of taco friends. So we can come back into our settings and then come over here to the scattering, and then just bring the stamp count down. And now we could draw with this. Let's put it at a reasonable size. Now we still have a lot, and the reason is there's another setting that we didn't adjust, and that's the spacing. So we want to pull the spacing out even further. And now you can just have a smallish gathering of taco friends. If we come in here and make the, if we go to stamp count and bring this down to 1, this allows us to just have them kind of scatter in individually, and you can also tap to put them in. So if you just wanted to do like that, these brushes would be a great way to like make a quick pattern. And you can save these brushes too. So I can come in here in my brush settings, and I can go to these little 3 dots next to the name of the current brush we're using, and I can go to save as new brush, and you can choose include color, and then you can choose where you want this to go. You can choose an existing folder. Let's see. Put it in my multicolor brushes, and I hit save. And then let's get these out of here. And now when we go into our brushes, you can look for that group that you saved it in, CP multicolor brushes, and we can select that brush, and then we can use it, which is pretty great. You'll notice here, I also have this, let me go ahead and make a quick background color to help show this, because it'll be hard to see otherwise. So if you saw my Apple Pencil Tips review, you'll see that I had a bunch of pencil tips raining in and making a big pile. I did that with the multicolor swatch thing, and I made it out of these Apple Pencil Tips. So you'll see here, these are my Apple Pencil Tips. So this is my Apple Pencil Tips brush that I made just to do that animation, because it was so quick and easy to make. So I just went and downloaded an image of an Apple Pencil tip from the Apple Store and made it into a stamp. And I can come in here and stamp these individually. And that's how I made that that animation of them. I can show you how I did the raining Apple Pencil tips, because it's actually incredibly easy. I just stamped one of these Apple Pencil tips, and then I clicked on the animation option, and then I did path, and then I drew a path down like this, and then I added multiples, I scattered them, I brought the frame rate down so they fell faster. Then I could just come in and make more paths, and I can randomize that so they're falling at different rates. I can add more. And now we've just got raining Apple Pencil tips. We can make it look even more realistic too by turning on the sway. And you could, whoops, you got to make sure you're on the right layer. This is my pencil tips layer. So we turn on the sway. We can bring that up a little bit. And we can maybe do grow, shrink a little bit so that they maybe look like they're changing space a little bit. Let's try the sway. There you can see that they're moving a little bit as they come down. It's pretty wild. And you could just make it get out of control. So that's all just with one little thing, which is why I still think even with Procreate Dreams, there's still some stuff that's just so much easier to do with motion in Fresco. You still couldn't and wouldn't want to do a full-on animation in Fresco, but if you're someone who just adds motion to illustrations, I still think Fresco is a superior option for that. Mo, you said this would be so helpful when drawing background characters in a busy environment, a little angle and sizing. Yeah, definitely. Diana Alyssa, you asked, will it stay in your saved brushes when you close out of this document? Yep. So the Apple Pencil tips thing, I made when I did that video last week, I think it was. So yeah, those stay in there. Let's experiment with how these brushes can work, and like maybe try doing like another 3D type situation, just sort of play around with this. So I'm going to just come back in here and grab just a regular brush that I use. And then we'll, I don't know. Let's just make like a circle shape. Let's fill this in. And it's sort of an experiment always for me, because I don't really know. Like, I'm still trying to figure out all the logistics of how this stuff works. So I think it's sort of a fun surprise to see what they do. So right now what I'm doing is I'm getting like a textured brush, and I'm going to try to make like a little bit of like a gradation around the side like this. And then maybe we'll do like a little highlight on this side. So this is, I put the texture stuff on a clipping mask above, and if you aren't familiar with how that works, so I'm drawing on this layer, and if I click this option underneath the eye on the right side, that will clip it to what's below. And you can do this with like a whole group too. So let's turn off the background for a second, and let's try this and see what this does. So I used the modifier to double tap, and now I'm going to get this circle. I just want to get a little bit of all of it. Okay, put the background back on. And now let's see what happens if we use it with the brush that I've been drawing with. So because I'm using the classic inker, it has a lot of, it's like a distressed textured brush. Oh, actually, I'm not using that. I'm using this spatter inside. So you can combine this stuff with textured brushes to get like a multicolored texture, which is pretty wild. So let's try it with this Too Smooth to Be Forgotten inking brush. And I'm gonna make the size bigger so we can see what's happening here. So you can get some cool like 3D, like, I don't know, almost like frosting syrup type situation, which is pretty cool. Let's try it with a with this the classic inker that I like to use. So because this is such a textured brush, it has like a totally different look. So you can get wildly different results based on the brushes that you're using, which is pretty cool. Whoa. So let's say we merge this down and duplicate it. Sarwar, you said first time seeing your live. Thank you for all the useful videos. Well, thank you for watching. I appreciate that. So let's make a few of these. Like this, and let's see what happens if we make this into a brush. Melissa, you said, what's the difference between a clipping mask and alpha lock? That is a very good question. So let's let me show you. So if I draw this square here, like this, actually, let me put some non-connected things. Okay, so this is on its own layer, this blue stuff. If I were to lock the transparency on this, then what would happen is I could draw on this layer, and it's only gonna come inside what is already there. So I can't draw anywhere else. I can only draw in the art that exists. So this made that blue stuff orange. So let's undo that. Let's undo unlock transparency. Let's make a new layer on top of that and make it a clipping mask. And now we can do the same thing, and it looks like it's the same. It looks like we're getting the same results. However, this orange is on its own layer. So if I can turn this back off, and we haven't changed that blue. So it's like a non-destructive way of working. And if you decide you are happy with this and you want it to be like that, and you don't want to have the complication of this clipping mask, you can go ahead and just merge that down and do that. But this gives you flexibility to sort of play around with what you're doing. This is especially helpful if you're trying to like add texture and stuff like that, and you don't want to mess up the original artwork. We had some good answers in the chat from Kohiko and Trent. But yeah, helpful, very good question and good information to have. Jan Lee, thank you so much. All right, so let's try to do, let's turn off the animation thing. Let's try a multicolor swatch using these 3 circles. So going to double tap the modifier, and let's zoom out a little bit more. Let's get them, actually, let's turn off the background too, so we can just get these. Double tap the modifier. All right, we got them all in there. Let's turn that off, and let's I want to see what this does with just the regular hard round brush, like the basic setting. I want to turn off all this other stuff so we can go back to just the normal hard round brush. That's all normal. Scattering, let's turn that all off. Okay, so that's pretty cool. That's pretty wild. Let's play with the settings and see how we can change this. So if we spaced this out, played around with the angle a little bit, maybe adjusted the size, maybe the angle jitter. Let's see. We could use pen pressure to change it. We can flip the jitter. I don't think we need to do that. Control, let's do pen pressure for that. And let's see, scattering. We could scatter just a little bit. Pen pressure for stamp count. All right, let's try to draw something with this wild contraption. Look at that. Look how this is actually kind of grossing me out, but it's a really cool effect. And you could imagine how you could like create custom brushes to like, I don't know, like make leaves on like a tree or something, like how fast you could create something. Cause like this, the fact that I can control with pen pressure, like how big these circles are and like subtly change that, you can get some wild effects. Now, I am interested in what this would look like if maybe these were different colors. So let's take this thing, and what I want to do now is I'm going to remove, let's see, going to cut and paste, and then I'm going to cut this one too. So let's cut and paste. Okay, so now that I have them on different layers, I want to try to change the color of these a little bit. So I'm going to use the clipping mask technique to change the colors because this is like, excuse me, because I have different like textures and colors layered here, I can't just like use the paint bucket to change the color here. So what I can do is click on this adjustment layer and do a hue saturation. And I can play with this and find a new color, and you'll see that it's changing all of them, and I don't want it to do that. So what I can do is click on the clipping mask, and then it'll just affect the layer it is above. So that's another really good way to use the clipping mask. So we'll do that. And then we'll do one for this one. Make that a clipping mask. There we go. Let's do that. And cool. So I'm going to come back and make these all one layer. Trent, you said an awesome option would be a Fresco would let you split isolated objects like, automatically onto multiple layers. Yeah, that would be cool. I mean, I don't even think you can do that in Photoshop, but I would love that. So with the Trent, let's see. If you double tap the modifier, you can select multiple layers at the same time. So I'm going to do that. And then, let's see. I think now I can put them in a folder and then I can merge that. There we go. Okay, cool. So let's make this one into a multicolor swatch. I'm going to do it the other way in case you missed that. So if you click on the eyedropper and then you just want to make sure the multicolor swatch option is there, this one is actually kind of handy because you can just drag this over and like resize as needed. I think. There we go. All right. So let's see what how it looks when you have multicolors. This is pretty cool. I feel like you could easily create like I don't know, like galaxy type stuff. Let's see if we actually, instead of changing any of that stuff, let's just see what it looks like with like a textured brush or something. So let's grab this texture thing. Wow. Sorry, this is kind of crazy. You can create just rainbow textures with this stuff. Let's see. This like there's so much stuff that you can just do so quickly with this. Like the amount of textures you can make, and because this is pressure sensitive, like you can come in here and make it really tight in some spots or loose in other spots. And then you could use this to like make an overlay type situation too, to like add texture to your work. So let's say, for example, we've got our taco guy here. Let's say this was bigger. We can come back over here and then adjust our layer mode. Put this on like overlay, and you can get this like really cool effect on that that otherwise flat illustration. So you can do that to add texture, or you could try like the other settings in here too. That's weird. That looks gross. But yeah, you could make great text. So let me come back here. Even if you didn't want it to be that like dramatic in the color change, if you came down here and like brought the saturation down like that, and then let's go like that, merge down, and then change this to overlay, you would get that same texture without all the like color changing, which is pretty cool. Mo, you said how crazy would this look with the live brush? To be honest, I don't even know if you can do it, but we can find out. It looks like it's letting me. So let's see what happens. Let's do a watercolor soft. We need a new layer. Wow. You're a real innovator, Mo. Look at that. You can use multicolor swatches with the watercolors and get that like crazy pressure sensitivity. That is nuts. What about the spatter one? If you've never played around with these live brushes, they are insane. And you can like mix water and oil brushes together. Let's use this chunky oil paint one. Make it bigger. Yeah, this is a wild world we're living in. You can like mix these colors using, see, the with the live brushes, like they activate, like you can blend colors together just like you're painting in real life, which is nuts. And when you're using the watercolor ones, you can use the modifier to just use water. So it's just painting, it's just adding water to it. So you can just like mix all this stuff together, which is, look at this mess. What am I doing here? um, let's try hmm. Let's make like a quick 3D animated lettering a situation with this brush. Since got a little bit of time left, I am going to just grab a hard round brush and just change the settings a little bit to make it a little bit smoother. Let's bring the size jitter back down. Ooh, wow. What did we just do? That's crazy. Let's bring the spacing all the way down. It's crazy how they're like wrapping around. Okay, I want to do this. Don't love this brush. I think what I want to try is taking this gradient and let's make a circle selection from it. So let's copy this. Let's paste this like that. And now let's do, let's actually not have perfect circles. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to paste that. I'll put that there. As I don't know what I'm doing, but it might be cool. And then let's grab that. Let's copy that, paste that. I'm going to put that there. And now I'm going to merge these together. Turn off the background and we're going to make a multicolor swatch out of this and hope that it looks cool. Tiny bit bigger. Okay. Turn that off. Come back here. That's crazy. Okay. Let's tweak this a little bit more. What is it? The angle rotates. That's okay. Blend mode. What does this do? Oh, I think that would be how it would react with other brushes. So let's leave that on normal. Shape dynamics, size jitter off, minimum diameter. Could do that. Let's just, let's turn the scatter off. Stamp count 1, count jitter. Sorry if that made a loud noise. Okay, that's what I want. All right. Manny, hello. Okay, so I was thinking we would do a simple animation with this type. So I was thinking maybe we'll just do something simple. So maybe we'll just say, I'll just write the word O in script. How's my smoothing? Need that all the way up. Okay. I don't know if I'm crazy about this wrapping situation. Let's see if we can change that. What does that look like at 1? What are we doing to change that? How does that work? Angle jitter, pen pressure, shape dynamics. Maybe that's just how it is because of the way I drew the different circle shapes, which is kind of cool. I think we should work with it. Okay. So let's make this a little bit better. Let's delete that. And let's do okay, so I'm going to put this in the center and we'll do an animation with this. So I'm going to click on the animation option here and I'm going to make a blank frame before this one to start. So I'm going to drag this one over. Why is it being annoying? There we go. Okay, so we need to start with it off the frame. So I'm going to do a new frame here. And then I'm just going to kind of draw this coming in. And then I'll do a new frame. Then I'll keep it coming like that. Do another one. And I'm basically just coming in to sort of start tracing this. So I'll do another one. And I like to sort of stop it before key points. So I brought this up and then instead of doing that loop in one thing, I want it to be on separate frames and that it'll look like it's drawing through. So I'll do a new frame here and then we can come down like that. And then another thing you could do to save time would be to just duplicate the frame and then draw more onto it. But I think this will give it a more wiggly dynamic look. I'm also going to change the onion skin settings to 1 so that it's a little less chaotic looking to see. Teacher Rose Chase says hi. Hi, Chase. Chase is my kid who's at his cousin's house, who are the Tatro boys. All right, so let's keep this loop going. Pull this over here. And then again, I'm going to stop at the top so that we can have the next frame bring that line all the way down, which will look kind of cool, I think. I need to start to thin this out to get it back to where it will be in the final state. Okay, so let's do new frame here. Actually, what I'm going to do is insert a blank frame before so I can just see the final state. And I want to just get this to be closer to that for this one. So now I can kind of delete that. Now I know that I'm getting near where I want to be, so I can draw the rest of this in, if that makes sense. Pull that back on top. All right. Whoops. This looks crazy now, but I think it's gonna look pretty neat. So pull this down like that. Not the real mini Bloxia. How's it going? I remember that you are the one who comes in here and says a whole bunch of stuff and then leaves. All right, so let's pull this in like this. I think instead of having this frame here, let's just delete that, and then let's just have this one repeat a couple times. So we'll come in like this, like that, pull that down, and then do it once more. Down like this. So we've got that 3-frame loop. What I'm going to do is duplicate it just so that it holds for, you know, a little bit longer. And then now we've got this sequence, which is looking pretty cool. And now we'll just finish it off. So to finish it off, we can just have this start to go away. Like that. And then we can make it go faster. That. And then just sort of have it look like it's going away. All right, let's see how it looks. Let's turn off this stuff. Go back to the beginning. Kind of crazy. And, you know, that 3D brush really makes it like flicker and stuff like that. This is pretty neat. Manny said it must be cool to have an Illustrator dad. I don't know. He doesn't know yet. He's only 2. Yeah, I think that was fun. So yeah, you can do lots of cool stuff with this multicolor swatch thing. Hopefully you all are inspired to make some cool stuff. If you make some stuff and post it on the social medias, on the Instagram, definitely tag me. I would love to check it out. I think I have my thing on here maybe. I don't anymore. I had a overlay for my Instagram, but I guess I don't. but it's just Chris Piascik. Still trying to find it. Oh, there it is. I got it. Follow me and tag me so I can see the cool stuff that you make. Live streams every Friday, videos every Tuesday. Maybe become a member. Maybe join the Discord. Thanks, everyone. I will see you all soon. Bye-bye.